We here at Marcus & Mack handle many cases under the umbrella of premises liability. Now, what does that mean? A premise case is when somebody is injured on another's property. That could be a slip and fall accident, if someone falls on snow or ice, or on a puddle or a wet surface on the floor. Could also be a case where there's a problem with the property itself, such as a hole in the floor, a missing step, a missing handrail or a shaky handrail, problem with the floor itself. If a person is injured in any of those situations, it's important to determine who is potentially at fault for that accident. Could be the owner of the property, the homeowner who owns the sidewalk. Could be a tenant of the property. Perhaps the landowner rented the property to a private tenant, like an apartment situation. Could be a commercial tenant. Perhaps the owner of the grocery store leased the property to a separate entity which is actually conducting business there on a daily basis. It's important to start making those determinations very early in the case, because it involves a pretty extensive process with conducting a deed search at the courthouse, determining who the insurance company is, putting them on notice. It's also important to start with premise liability cases very early on, because when you fell or when you were injured, that is the only time the property is going to look exactly as it did at that time. So we want to look for things like surveillance footage, if that exists, so that video is preserved. These surveillance cameras can be very helpful, but only if you actually get the footage. And a lot of the cameras will write over themselves automatically after a very short period of time. So you call our office quickly and we jump right in. A lot of people think, well, I want to see how I heal. I don't know if I want to make a claim. By the time they realize they have a claim and want to pursue it, the footage may be long gone. So it's important that we jump right in. It's also important because we want to help you guide your medical treatment and your medical bills. Some property insurance policies have what's called MedPay coverage that is available to pay your medical bills regardless of proving fault for the accident. We also tell people to preserve your footwear. Whatever shoes you're wearing at the time, take them out of circulation, put them in a bag someplace safe, because you don't want the tread to be worn down. And then a year or two into the process, the insurance company might want to examine your shoes, and now they're not in the same condition they were in at the time of the fall. So to be sure to preserve your footwear. And call our office. We'll walk you through the process in terms of identifying defendants and insurance coverage, proving your injuries. We have to prove that the defendant is at fault for causing the accident, that there was negligence, there was a problem that they reasonably should have been aware of, and that they failed to correct it. If you'd like to talk further, please call our office.
Call Marcus & Mack on the Hurt Line right now.